Hello, Laura. It's great to see you, and thank you so much for being willing to do this interview with me. For all of my followers and people watching this interview, this is Laura HURUBARU, and Laura is a business consultant and coach, and she originally comes from Romania. And I heard her on a Facebook Live session that she was giving, and she just resonated with me immediately at a gut level, and I just followed up and I asked her whether she'd be willing to talk a little bit about herself and about what courage means to her. So I thought I'd just start by asking you to say a little bit about where you think courage has featured in your life as a force to take you forward.
Okay. Hi, Lorrayn. Thank you for inviting me to do this. Yes, it's a very, it's a complex question, but I think courage was, even though it doesn't seem like that, at first glance, courage was present throughout my whole life. So, for example, I left home at 16 years old due to an abusive alcoholic father.
Hello, I know all about that.
Yes, so I had to, put myself on my own through school, through high school, through university, and kind of carve my own way. And not only for myself, but I have 3 younger brothers. So I also had to help them through school, through university, and so on and so forth. So, and I don't know, it takes courage to leave home at 16 years old, right? I mean, what did I knew, right? I didn't know anything about life, about how to support myself. I mean, I was just, I don't know, a second year in high school, right? So how much can I do, right? But I just didn't care. I knew that my life was in danger, and my families too, so therefore I had to. So there was like no other choice. So in first instance, you may seem there's nothing courageous about that. You really don't have a choice. But in the face of it, I could just, put up with it. I don't know, think like I did, maybe choose to think that I deserve this treatment. But no, I chose to believe that this is a normal.
I think that's incredibly courageous.
Yeah, so yes, I'm not sure if it's the bravest thing that I've done, but yeah, throughout my life I had different episodes where I had to make hard choices. It seemed like no other choice because I was very, how do I say this, very strong in my convictions and in my values. So therefore for me, there was no other choice, and that's why it was easy in a way for me to make the choice, to be brave. But at the same time, it was a very, difficult period of time, very difficult choices and very difficult or very big challenges, but I took them anyways.
And how old were you when you came to the UK from Romania?
So the story started badly in a way, but it's not bad anymore. So I left home at 16 years old. I put myself for university. I finished around when I was 23rd. I had my first job and I bought my own apartment with my partner that we're still together. And I, like, fast forward to now, I have twins with him. They are 6 years old. Yes, I'm in the UK, and I moved in the UK in 2015. And that's another, bold or courageous move, because they were just 2 years and a half. Only my husband had job, like a promise of a job coming here, but I didn't, so we didn't know. I said, and like everything that happened, in my life, if it comes to me, I'm not going to question. I will say yes, and I will figure it out. And everyone said, you're brave, you're very courageous, like who goes, with 2 small kids in the unknown alone, because we have nobody here, no friends, no nothing, right? Like no family of any kind, right? And completely new system, completely new everything, right? But we did it, and we're here. They are healthy, they are happy, they are in year 1 now. and Yeah, so a lot of changes, but
And
yeah.
you were saying, you mentioned when we were chatting earlier, you mentioned also that you made the change to leave a job that was paying you quite a lot of money and start
Yes.
your own business.
So
Perhaps
my
talk a little bit about the courage involved in that.
Yeah, so my dream always had been to, make it on my own, to have my own business, to be my own boss, and mostly because I really wanted freedom. I knew I wanted to see my kids grow up, and I wanted some kind of a job or work that allows me to work in the morning and in the evening, and then have like the day for myself and for my children. And it felt very obvious that the choice should be to have an online business. And first attempt to having an online business was 7 years ago, or kind of 7 years ago, if I remember correctly. And it was about the same time I was pregnant with my twins. And at that time I was studying and everything else, and moving a little bit forward, when I gave birth to them, I was again alone, nobody there to help me. I was all day long, 24 hours, 7 days a week, like with them. And I had this naivete that I will also build my own business alongside, and it was that timing, like I didn't know exactly what's happening wrongly, where did I do wrong. I think it was my own naivete that I thought that I could do everything, being a mom of twins and having a business like starting a business, which is a completely different game. I was good at coaching, I was good at what I was doing, but I wasn't aware that I needed to master so many skills around this in order to support myself from this. So then things got rough. I believe that after I gave birth, it was my darkest period of my life, to be completely honest with you. And what made it more stronger was like, I did this to myself. When I was 16 years old, when I was a child and my parents were the way they were, I blamed them. But now, whom do I blame? I can't fight me. I can't fight me. So I have to find a way. And in that, circumstance, I said, God, I promise to you, I will always grow. I will not stop investing in myself, and, in my personal development, but give me a hand here. Please, help me out. I'll do whatever you want me to, but just help me out here. And soon, like shortly after this opportunity came, where my husband received an offer, to work in the UK. So he worked in a company in Romania, but the company also had the headquarters in the UK, and they couldn't find a person. So they said, look, think about it. And I said, yes. And then I said, now I just want to go back to something that I know, that I'm comfortable, that I don't need to learn anything. I just want to go back to something that I know, find myself, to see if I know if I screwed up my life in a way, right? I just want to go back to something that I know I am good at, I can master, and so on and so forth. So
wow, that's really interesting, because I hear a couple of things in what you're saying. I mean, one of the things that I hear is, you mentioned the word God, and having some kind of, I use the word spiritual, a spiritual understanding, a concept of a higher power, of an energy which is greater than we are, that is actually there, that we can call on to help us. That I hear what you're saying about that, and that really resonates. And then what I also hear, which was quite interesting, is that the willingness to let go of what you thought was going to be the solution. You found it wasn't the solution. You needed to learn a lot more things in order to set up an online business, that it wasn't the right time. So you were willing to make the change and to allow, you saw the signs from the universe, you saw the signals from the universe, and you were willing to follow them.
Yes.
And I think that is something which takes courage to do, and it takes maturity, and it takes a connection with a higher power. and a practicing of that. So
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
If you ask me what is most courageous, is to actually, go blindly knowing that you'll be okay. I don't think there is something more courageous than that.
yes.
Like I don't know. I heard Brandon Burchard. I don't know if you know about him. He quoted somebody, but I don't remember her name. And she said, faith is one of two things: is going, at the brink of, when you have to go. I don't know what's the name of that.
Over the edge.
Yes, and over the edge, and then taking the step and knowing that one of two things will happen. Either something solid will be there for you to step on it, or you will be given wings to fly.
I like that.
I will never forget. I don't know who said that quote, because he told the name of the person. I think it was a woman who said that, but I just don't know the name. And it felt so powerful and, like so resonating with me.
That's right. There are many examples of times when in history, for example, when people have changed the course of events for everybody in a good way, because they had the belief, they had the trust that by taking the step, that everything would come behind them to create the thing that they were trying to create. And certainly that seems to have been the story for you. Following on from what you're saying, there's a question that I wanted to ask you. It's my experience and the experience of a lot of my clients and the people that I work with, that when we start to move forward, when we're taking that step forward, quite often what happens is all the resistance and all the reasons why we think that we can't do whatever it is that we're wanting to do come up. And all the fears and all the emotions and everything. And it can be sometimes, in my own life, I've experienced it like a sort of clamp. It's like holding you down like this. So what I wanted to ask you is, do you have any techniques or practices that you do on a regular basis that you could share that my listeners would benefit from hearing, that are things that you do when that happens to you?
Yes. So yes, definitely. It's like, I always think that's a test, right? So when things show up, for me like this, now I'm being tested, because I made a promise, right? I made a promise I will heed the warnings, I will heed the messages, right? But they just need to help me as well, right? So I have, I'm using some decks when I feel like I needing guidance to understand, is it my ego? Is it my fear? Is it actually my intuition telling me something? So which voices right now I'm hearing right now, like sure I'm hearing the right voices. And I work with the deck called the Isis, the Priestess, I think it's called. Yes. Awaken the Priestess Within. So this one.
Awaken the Priestess Within.
Yes, Isis. Yes. So basically, I think that she is the first who came to me like around 2 years ago, and that's when my spiritual awakening or immensely growth started, and started with her. And that's what I do. And I also have I have another deck, but that's helping me more with my ascension, if you like. And that's where, like inviting light, which is, this one is more of a guidance. I'm in a situation right now, I really need your guidance. Please help me and understand what's happening. Maybe I need confirmation, maybe I need validation, maybe I need to be more patient. Just tell me what it is. And the deck I use is mostly for, okay, I think I learned the lesson that I was supposed to learn. What's next? Right, in a different ways. Like, I go to school, I study maths, now I need to start, I don't know, geometry, or move to the next level, right? So it's that more, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a different kind of a guidance, I always learn. So I always move to the next level. I used to wait to be kicked in the butt.
Exactly, that's the thing, isn't it? That is the big lesson that I think human beings we need to learn, and I include myself in that too, because it seems that the default position for all of us is very often to wait until we get kicked in the butt before we are willing to change. And so one of the things that I've been practicing for myself and showing other people is how you can navigate. So if there was one thing that you could say to people to help them to navigate so that they stay in movement in a positive way rather than getting to stagnation or atrophy and that, was there anything particularly that you would say? Difficult question.
It's a difficult question because it's very different for everyone, you know. My journey of maturity, you call that maturity, was to better understand myself and my emotions. And I did that through journaling, yes. In the beginning, I wouldn't even want to write down any of my thoughts because I was afraid about if somebody else is reading them, what they will think of me, what I will think of me when I will read them. You know, I judged emotions as being bad, right, and negative, and let them define, right?
The signal just went there a little bit, but it's back.
Okay, so journaling and putting your raw emotions, thoughts on paper will allow you to then judge them, you know, and detach them, right?
Yeah.
And I learned to read through my emotions. And for example, okay, when was the last time I've been tested? For example, yes, somebody, you know, left my group right after she said oh, I really want this, I'm at a 10, you know, from a 1 to 10, I want to move forward, blah. And then suddenly she left the group and I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong, right? What did I do wrong? What did I just say wrong, you know? So I was very, you know, upset and up about it, you know, like I haven't done anything wrong. Am I so bad, you know, like, did I believe I was better than I am, right? I thought I'm reading through people, you know, all this self-talk and self-doubt creeping in. And then I said, okay, I think I'm being tested here right now. What am I challenged to do? And what I'm challenged to do is like, okay, I have 200 beautiful ladies, which I choose to ignore, but only focus on this lady. Yeah, only on this lady who left. Why is that, right? And then I said, okay, I must be challenged, you know, and must be, you know, like shown that I need to be able to let go and accept the people that I cannot serve, even if those it seemed like it is, and then focus on the people that I can serve that chose to stay here, and so on and so forth. So basically this is like the process that I have whenever, because I could write, you know, I could see the things that I'm saying to myself. I could also then, you know, reverse engineer them, if you like, to see what's hiding behind that, what is actually, you know, the fear, and what am I, you know, called to grow into, and so on and so forth. It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Overnight.
It is about practicing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's about, you know, you get all these messages and all these thoughts that come up, and they can seem so pervading, and they can seem to overwhelm me at times. And then it's just remembering, oh, wait a minute, I am not my thoughts. You know, that's just one thing in my head. That's just one thing. There's all the rest of the universe, which is not that.
Yeah.
So why don't I look at the rest of the universe rather than looking at that one little thing that is, you know, not so good. So also, I just wanted to ask you, because one of the programs that I have been creating, or I'm in the process of creating, is called The Courage to Make Money. And so I wanted just to ask you a quick question about whether that has been an issue for you and how you overcame that, whether it was an issue to receive in your life.
Yes. So yes, I think money is a big problem for the whole humankind right now, not just for no, I mean, yes, several years back, I could see all these, you know, ads on Facebook everywhere. Everyone was teaching you about money. It's like, oh my God, can you not do anything else? Only money, 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 money. It's like I was suffocating. I thought I didn't have any problems with money, just because, like I said, the last job that I had was like I would have 6 figures, like I would be paid £600 per day as a contractor. So I thought, because I earned good money compared to other people, right, I thought that I have no money problem. Yeah, of course I could use some more, or, you know, like everyone has some problems. It's not like I'm perfect, but I didn't perceive it like I have huge money problems. Still, I don't know, till August this year, when I've been guided to a intuitive process, and I, as a result of that, because I applied it on myself first, it was like a detox. And then I went through all my life, this life, memories around money as a child, what I learned from my parents, what I learned from my grandparents, what I learned from my teachers, what I learned from everyone in any position, any relation, any situation that had anything to do, even remotely, right, with money. I would just had to go and do a cleanse release and, you know, let go. So yes, I do believe I had, and I still probably have. The best way to see is when you wish for something, it doesn't come. If it doesn't come, it means somehow, to some level, to some extent, you're resisting it. That's the only way you can troubleshoot. Yeah. If you think you don't have money issues, then okay, wish for something. I don't know, 10K tomorrow or something like that. Challenge yourself, wish for something and see what's happening, right? And be as bold as possible, because then probably a lot will show up, you know, a lot will show up, right? So I have like processes, you know, where I intentionally put something outrageous out there because I know something will bubble up. It's like, oh, you can't have this. Why not? Right? Why not? Why not? Okay, so let's see what's beneath that, what's beneath that, what's beneath that, and work.
I don't think I think I need to intentionally challenge myself, because I think, because I'm so crazy, I just challenge myself anyway.
Yes,
That's
yes.
great. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Yeah, and I think it's good advice there for other people who, and again, what I'm hearing and why I think I was drawn to you is because, you know, you have this understanding that there is a power, there is a source energy that, you know, we can go to, you know. So you say, you know, okay, I want to challenge myself with a money issue or this or that or that or that, and then when you get a block, you can ask for the support, you can ask to have to cleanse it, you can do a process which is, you know, a releasing of it, and allow the flow of the universe to come in and take that away. So that's a fantastic thing. It's a great gift, it's a great knowledge to have, and so many people don't have that. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that I was drawn to you. So I am so thrilled to have had this opportunity to connect with you, even if it is just by video. I'll certainly look forward to a chance when we're able to actually meet in person. And I know that you're going to do absolutely amazingly well with your new business. Absolutely, you will. And it's really a privilege to get to know you. And thank you so much for doing this interview with me. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.